saying things about black media in general, like KBLA Talk 1580. But he wanted to clear it up and say, like, wait a minute, that's not what I was saying. I was talking specifically about award shows. And he goes into his ex.
Shocking. A revolutionary finding has ophthalmologists scratching their heads in disbelief.
Yeah,
Believe it or not,
that
people
part.
tried this to
Yeah,
correct
no?
their 2020 vision. This 7-second ritual took us all by
Uh
surprise
huh.
and has now helped over 110,000 people throw away their glasses or contact lenses.
Well, I'm
What's
going to leave
even
mine on
cooler
because I can't
is
see without
you
them.
can do it from your bedside tonight. The results are nothing short of wonder. The ritual is going viral and has already been featured on NBC, Fox, and ABC.
Yeah.
Sadly, the greedy
Yeah.
pharmaceutical giants are trying to get it taken down.
Yeah.
So tap below now to see this special free presentation
Free
that
presentation. Yeah.
reveals a 7-second bedtime vision restoring ritual
Yeah.
before it gets taken down.
You a wild boy. Yeah. So, like I was saying, I, I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but we're gonna get on right back into it. So we're gonna talk a little bit and follow up about Lenny Kravitz, and and what he had to say about his comments. And we're going to be joined today by Whitney J. Yates, and I know she's a favorite here, and I'm looking forward to meeting her and talking to her. And then also, we're going to talk about Sally Richardson. Now, y'all know who Sally Richardson is. She's that gorgeous sister from back in the day. Y'all know who she is, and she's an actress that you know from movies like Posse and Low Down Dirty Shame, where she dropped that line, you could have had something if you weren't stupid. She was also in just so many other projects, but now she's making her name and her mark as a director and a producer. And every time we get an opportunity to celebrate one of our own, I definitely want to do that. And I want to chop it up with Whitney about how she feels about sisters who are doing their thing in the game. Whitley, yes, and that are doing their thing in the game right now. And I'm excited to chop it with her about that. Hey Andy, you down for celebrating the sisters tonight?
100%.
100%. What are
Yes,
your
sir.
thoughts, man? What do you think about, our sisters now kind of taking a lead in producing and directing?
I mean, it's about time.
It's about damn time.
You know,
Yeah.
um, I know they've been striving for equality for a long, long, long time, and I mean, quite frankly, like, I see it happening. I see it happening, and for me as a man, I have no issue with it.
That's good, man. It's good to have that confidence in who you are. Because if
100.
you understand yourself, it'll help you to better understand others.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
heard it from me. Drop some money in the collection plate. All right. We're gonna also talk about the baby, the baby, who is the award-winning rap artist known for his top-charting debut album, Baby on Baby. And the baby a little controversial out there. We're not gonna get into that tonight, but the baby has had a revelation. He is going to kick alcohol and he's going to stop drinking. And one of the catalysts for this decision was the fact that he threw up in front of his baby girl. And I'm gonna share some things with you guys too when we talk to our special contributor about this. Andy, what are your thoughts on this, man? And the baby giving up drinking because of his baby girl?
Well, part of me wants to say Snoop Dogg started something of a trend
Yes, sir.
to a degree, even though that was all marketing on his part. But I definitely think that people have come to a point where they realize that they're getting older, and they're concerned about their health. I know there was a specific reason that the baby decided to, and I'm sure you're going to share that a little bit later
Yes.
on. But what he experienced, I think, I hear that often from individuals who decide to change their ways. But we're going to talk about it a little bit later.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. And I like your viewpoint on that, man. And it's just it's time, man. Rappers have gotten a bad rap for so long. It's just wonderful and great to see the positive influence that they're trying to make the best of luck to the baby. And we're going to talk more about that later. And if we have enough time, you guys know how we do. The Screen Actors Guild, today was their last day to vote on whether or not they're going to accept the Screen Actors Guild, for those of you who don't know, on whether they're going to accept the deal presented to them. Voting closes this evening, I believe, at midnight. We'll know tomorrow. Hopefully, things will go well. I'll say it that way. And, so we can keep some of our favorite television shows, on the air. And, so again, my apologies. Like I said, I'm getting to know new people, here on the Raw Report. And Whitley J. Yates, she'll be joining me right after we come black on the Raw Report.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But what about after? What's your routine for facial hair to avoid dry skin, itching, and beard rough? Well, the King C. Gillette Beard Oil is the perfect fit for making your beard feel as good as it looks. It softens your facial hair and moisturizes to help prevent itch due to dry skin. Get facial hair that feels as good as it looks. Just trim, wash, and soften. With King C. Gillette.
The $5 Cravings Box is back at Taco Bell, and it's the real thing. We're talking a Chalupa Supreme, a cheesy, beefy 5-layer burrito, a crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and a medium drink, all for just $5. That's a lot of food for not a lot of dollars. In other words, a wise business deal, like greeting clients with a firm handshake and a delicious 3-course meal that's only $5. Order your $5 Cravings Box on the Taco Bell app today. At limited participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Price excludes tax.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Raw Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, and welcome back to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. No, I am not Robin Ayers. I am Keith Underwood sitting in for the gorgeous, talented, and brilliant Robin Ayers. Forrest Harrison over in the chat. Yeah, Robin looking a little different today because it's not Robin, it's Keith. But but thank you. Shout out to you, Forrest. Also want to shout out Fatima and Pretty Brown Mimi, Houston, Texas. Welcome in the house. All of you, welcome to the Raw Report. And I also want to welcome our very special contributor this evening, Ms. Whitley Yates. Whitley!
Hey, Keith, how are you?
What's up, boo?
I'm excited to get into the nitty-gritty of what's happening in the culture this week.
You know what I'm saying, Whitley? You have a background in PR as well, right?
I do have a background in PR, specifically entertainment PR.
Oh yeah, well, same here. That's the same with your boy. So we're gonna get into these topics from a PR perspective.
Ooh, I'm ready.
You ready? Come on now. Put on that cap. So first up, we're going to talk more about Lenny Kravitz. All right? So as everybody has already heard, Lenny Kravitz was like, hey, what's up? Black award shows, give your boy some love. I've been out here in the game. No, I might not be doing typical R&B. I might not be doing rap, but I'm still a black performer, and I'm proud of my black culture. Can I get a little love? Can I get a little love? And so that got twisted somehow on social media, where some people presumed that Mr. Kravitz was talking about, the love that he hasn't been shown from black media in general. Now, Kravitz not being one to play, he released an official statement on X, also known as former Twitter. So I'm going to read a little bit of it for you. It is important to me to set the record straight on recent media reports based on an interview I did. My black musical heritage means a lot to me, and I owe my success to my supporters who have taken this journey with me over the span of my career. The comment I made was not about black media or the black community. I was specifically referring to black award shows in particular. My comment was meant to express a concern about ensuring that black artists are being recognized for their work in what is now being called non-traditional black music, which it is not. Rock and roll are the music we were instrumental in creating. Tell it, Lenny. And as a part of our history, we must retain our heritage and celebrate that together. BET and countless others have paved the way for this type of recognition. I hope that by sharing my concern, the spotlight will be shown on this issue. Whitley, what are your thoughts on Mr. Kravitz's statement?
I think it's a very strong statement, and I think it was written in his voice.
Yes.
I believe that he meant every single word of it. When we look at the initial comments that sparked outrage, because he was not clear and concise in his original communication, it left things up to interpretation.
Yes.
And so he never said BET awards or any type of award shows. He made it seem as though black media, which is encompassing of radio, it's encompassing of television, and all of these other different elements, were not supporting him.
He spoke very broad.
Not to mention, he was painting with very broad strokes. And after that, they went on to find out that his publicist did not have any melanin.
She was challenged, not just a little challenged, but challenged.
Yes, she had the complexion of protection. And so I think people started to feel like, well, wait a minute, you're talking negatively about black media, and your publicist and PR person isn't even from the culture at all and doesn't give interviews, because that's what a lot of people were saying.
Yes.
They don't give interviews to black media. And then other journalists started chiming in when they wanted to cover Lenny for urban media, that they were not given any information about his projects or what he's working on to be able to even cover him.
Yeah, let's.
So I think.
No, go ahead.
I think that his statement is true to his sentiment, but I do believe that there were some areas that were not spoken on when that covered some of the outrage he received.
Yeah, let's get into that, Whitley. Former publicist to former publicist. So, why do you think it is that some artists, some entertainers feel the need to have a white or non-black publicist? Why do you think that some people feel that need?
I think that it is a very common misconception that having a white publicist gets you placement in magazines and on shows that don't traditionally have a lot of black people on them. And I think that your proximity to whiteness could also then be a proximity to power, specifically in the entertainment industry. As a former board member of the Black Public Relations Society of Los Angeles.
Come on now, shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean, PR.
Yes.
How you know Sean? Wait a minute.
From Beepers.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah, we go offline on that.
Okay, yeah, we gotta go offline. But shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean,
past president of the Black Public Relations Society of Los Angeles. But it was really important for us to make sure that we were advocating for black publicists to be hired, because our effectiveness is not limited by our skin tone, but it is limited when people believe or feel as though we can't get them top placement because of what we look like, or that our arms don't reach that high. And we specifically need artists of color, black artists, to be supporting black publicists and those within the media field and realms, because we need each other.
That's
and
right.
We can show them not only that we can reach whatever heights that we decide and deem to be of value, but we can do it in a way that really represents the true essence of the entertainer or singer.
Yeah. And why, Whitley, do you think it's important? And I have my own viewpoints on this, on why it's important for black entertainers. And I don't care how black you think you are, whether it's on one end of the spectrum or the other. But why is it important for black artists to have black publicists?
Okay. I think the best way to talk and look at this is to look at some of the current situations that have played out in media over, let's say, this year. I think when you have a black publicist in place and you are going through a tumultuous time or have been accused, specifically if you're a black man, the framing of the story can be different and put you in a different light and position. If Jonathan Majors had a black publicist when he was going through some of the things that he's going through, people wouldn't be backtracking now and apologizing.
Yeah.
Because they would have been able to cultivate and create a story where we say, hold on, wait a minute. We've seen this before. It happened to Emmett Till, and it's still happening in 2023.
That's
Let's
right.
get the facts about what's happening, because a lot of times, specifically our black men, have been seen and used as pawns and said that they've been perpetrators when they have been innocent.
And not only in entertainment.
And not in entertainment.
Right, not just in entertainment.
So, having a black publicist they're able to be sensitive to the cultural facts and the history of how we've been seen in media and how we've been portrayed. And so their stories and how they shape and amplify you in times not only of conflict and crisis, but of celebration, is very unique to who we are as a culture and a people.
Yes. And let's get into it, and let's get real. Not to mention that, and I talked about this once before, that you always have a black artist that will come to a black publicist and ask for a hookup, especially early on. You know, I only got $100 this month. You know, they'll do
I like
stuff
that voice. I like that.
You know, they'll approach us in that manner. And then, you know, they gain a little notoriety, and then they'll move on over to, you know, a predominantly, you know, white PR firm, and they'll pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get less results.
Say it again. To get less results.
To get less results. What are your thoughts on that, Willie? Have you ever experienced that?
Of course, I've experienced it. I think that a lot of times some of the prejudice and white supremacy is not only upheld by white people, but sometimes Black people believe that others are better off just because of what they look like. And so when it comes to PR and people hiring and wanting the homie hookup for people that look like you, but then paying tip-top dollar to others is very reminiscent of white supremacy.
Yeah. And then the other thing, too, with that, they expect the world from us who they're paying less and will let the predominantly white firms get away with so much and doing so much more or less for their careers.
Because we're giving 4-course meals and they're getting crumbs.
Come on now.
Like, I have had clients who I was charging way less than my traditional rate to help them in getting top placements in publications like Forbes. And then they will go to a different company, a different agency, a different organization, pay 5 times my rate, and they couldn't even get in a blog in their own hometown.
That's truth. That's real truth.
And then they come back.
Yes.
Because they need some help.
Always.
They come back because it hasn't been effective.
And still don't want to pay you. They still do not want to pay you what they were paying the other firm.
It's really sad to see. And we're not trying to say that white publicists don't do a great job. What we're trying to say is sometimes there are cultural things, specifically within our culture, that I believe we're better suited to help. And we have the ability to traverse all industries, to traverse all types of publications, and to get top placement and top billing, and to help our clients do whatever it is that they're intending and needing to do. And so I just hope that people really see and understand that and value it.
Yeah. Willie, let me ask you, and tell me briefly, what would you have done different with the Lenny Kravitz situation?
Oof. First of all, I would have probably gotten the questions of the interview ahead of time and developed a strategic plan on how he was going to answer that question.
That's right.
Because anytime you have to clarify, there was an issue in communication the first time. So I would have probably had him better prepared for that interview, because I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the last time we were talking about Lenny Kravitz at all. I'm trying to think of the last time that he was relevant in pop culture in the past year. I can't think of a time. Now, I remember Maxwell was dropping down and getting his eagle on stage in some boots.
But you know they're not the same person, right, Whitley?
Right, but I don't remember hearing anything about Lenny.
Right.
And so the fact that this is the only thing I've heard about you all year is some drama, is a problem. So I would have had him better prepared for that interview. If indeed he made a mistake, because mistakes happen, and then that mistake started to snowball like it did, and then you had other journalists coming out stating that, well, yeah, I actually reached out and they wouldn't give me an interview, or said he's not working on anything, I would have addressed it in a way that validated the journalists who felt like because they were a part of urban media, they didn't get access to an urban icon.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Whitley. Let's check into the chat. First off, Fahima Sek, she says, hey, at KBLA Talk 1580, Lenny Kravitz was a recipient of an NAACP Image Award in 2010 during the 41st ceremony. And so Fahima, we're going to check into that when we come back on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Lil Real. Right now I'm hanging out with Robin on the Raw Report. That's right.
We hope you have a safe and relaxing holiday season.
Mask up and stay safe.
At KBLA Talk 1580,
we've got a lot to talk about.
And your voice is critical to all the conversation. Happy holidays.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. While prospective North Carolina candidates were submitting applications to run in the 2024 elections, a group of Black and Latino voters filed a new lawsuit in federal court challenging recently drawn Republican district maps. The plaintiffs claim the GOP district lines have been unconstitutionally and racially gerrymandered to ensure Republican congressional and legislative victories next year. State GOP leaders are denying the claims. One of Maryland's top educators is feeling the love. Dr. Mark Bedell was recently honored by the National Alliance of Black School Educators. The superintendent of Anne Arundel County Public Schools received the Joseph E. Hill Superintendent of the Year Award. Dr. Bedell has been superintendent since July of 2022. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help you find faster ways to get around LA County. It's totally free and helps motorists easily find Fast Track and roadside assistance services. Visit go511.com or dial 511 on your phone.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers need to have their defense in order for tonight's game against Phoenix. Suns forward Kevin Durant is the NBA's number 3 scorer behind Philadelphia's Joel Embiid and Dallas's Luka Doncic. Durant is averaging 31 points per game. Key matchup for both teams in the NBA's in-season tournament. The winner advances to the semifinals Thursday in Vegas. The Clippers are back in action tomorrow night. They're at home against Denver. The Clippers did not qualify for the in-season tournament quarterfinals. Top 5 women's college basketball teams in this week's AP rankings: South Carolina, UCLA, North Carolina State, Iowa, and Texas. Undefeated USC is 6. The 7-0 Trojans could move into the top 5 next week. Top 5 men's teams this week: Arizona, Kansas, Houston, Purdue, and UConn. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's the gift-giving season, and we have a gift for you. Visit us online at KBLA.store for holiday savings of 20% off all of our KBLA swag. For the best in merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store right now. And be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all our official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580, at 20% off, but only during the holiday season. Happy holidays.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Every child deserves the best teachers, facilities, and academic programs to set them up for success. At Milton Hershey School in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we make that a reality for children from qualifying families who are looking for greater opportunities. Milton Hershey School enrolls students from pre-K through 12th grade from across the United States to live and learn on a beautiful state-of-the-art campus with all costs covered. Are you looking to set your child up for success or know a child who could benefit from Milton Hershey School? Learn more at mhskids.org/admissions.
Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, music, and more. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on.
Who's got next?
And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. This is the place where you're going to get all of your entertainment and celebrity news. I am not the lovely Robin Ayers. I am Keith Underwood, and I am the host of my own entertainment radio talk show called Black in the Green Room, where you can catch it Saturdays right here on KBLA Talk 1580 at 9 p.m. Pacific Time and Sundays at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Y'all come check us out. Now, Whitley.
Yes.
Hey, you having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
Me too. You know, it's good to talk publicist to publicist, or former publicist to publicist.
It is.
Yeah, what you doing with your life right now, Whitley?
What am I not doing? I'm a media personality, political commentator. I work within the diversity space. I have my own PR marketing and advertising agency. I'm doing all the things.
Come on now, rise up. You know, let's talk about you sisters doing it for yourselves. Sally Richardson,
Right.
the lovely, talented, just all around great individual, Sally Richardson, who you know as an actress from films like Posse, Low Down, Dirty Shame, also the TV series. I can't remember the name of it, but with all the scientists and all the crazy stuff. But she was also in there. She's been in a lot of stuff. But Sally Richardson is now doing her thing as a director and as a producer, even up to here recently where she's been named as one of the executive producers and directors of a new HBO crime drama series starring Mark Ruffalo. For those of you who do not know, Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk in Avengers. Hulk smash. That is Mark Ruffalo. And, you know, Whitley, like I said, you're a sister that is doing it for yourself. Let's talk a little bit about celebrating, because I like to celebrate folks as well in entertainment, about sisters who are doing their thing in entertainment right now as directors and producers. And besides just Sally Richardson, there's Regina King and Tasha Smith and others who have made the transition from only being actresses to also now directing and producing. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that we are really just seeing the rise of Black empowerment, whether that is coming from men or women. Right now, no one is asking permission. They're doing all the things that they want to do and that they're capable of doing. We also have Lena Waithe,
Yes.
a young Marseille
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Come on now, baby.
Coming and
Yeah.
doing all the things. And so it's a beautiful thing to watch and see as people are no longer defined by what others think of them or siloed into just staying in the same space. A lot of times people can feel like, well, they know me as an actor, I need to stay as an actor. But really just being able to express yourself in different ways. I also know Megan Good has been behind the camera as well as in front of it and just testing some things out like that. I think it's one
Folks
of the most
are out there
beautiful
trying to
things
say
ever.
Megan's getting distracted right now, but Megan is still doing her thing.
Listen, the duality in being a Black woman in America is that we can hold him down and still stay focused on all the things that we need to do. We see it every day.
Yes.
So we can juggle all of these different things, but I really think it's interesting and refreshing to come in media because our stories are being told, and we're having more people that are comfortable expressing, telling, and showing not only just our stories, but our creativity is on display.
Right.
So I'm excited. Kudos to her for her new series.
Yes.
And all of the women who are out here producing and creating and directing. Shout out to Shonda Rhimes.
Yes. Ava DuVernay.
Ava DuVernay.
Yes.
Issa Rae.
Issa Rae.
Um,
I'm waiting on you.
listen. Now, because I'm going to we can't forget. We can't forget nobody.
No,
So hit us
Kim
like
Fields. I mean, it's so
Kim Fields.
many, and I'm just so proud of all of my sisters, and I can't say that enough. Why do you think, at this point in time, or at least in the last 10, 15 years, why so many black females are coming to more prominence in the directing and producing space?
I think that there have been some trailblazers, and I think that the rise in more black creatives and building an ecosystem of black creatives has helped. When you see people creating things like Issa Rae and her Awkward Black Girl series,
Yes.
she wasn't at the level that she was at now, but she was still creating.
Yes.
She used what she had and she did what she could. And I think that is really important, to be honest, because when you think about the totality of our creativity and being on display, a lot of times it was taken from us.
Yeah.
Our ideas were taken, our thoughts, the things that we wanted to produce for ourselves, other people's names got slapped on it, from music to movies to inventions. I could go on for days. You guys get the picture.
Yes.
And so now we're in a time where we have ownership over the things that we create. We've seen people blaze these trails. And so we can walk in our own footsteps, understand that, no, I don't have to start off and be some big production company MGM, but I can start with where I am. And then as more black women got into it, it's like, I'm not even alone out here.
Yeah.
Because
Whitley, how has things like YouTube and Tubi and other spaces like that, how have they helped to level up just not black female creators, but black creators in general?
Yes, I think the platform architects have basically shattered barriers by making creating, specifically within media realms, accessible. It's accessible.
Mm-hmm.
You have a camera, you can create. I watched some of the best movies that people created on iPhones. I mean, there has been a shattering of stereotypes of what is needed and how you can get discovered. Because now you can create things, someone can see it and say, oh, this is amazing, I need to bring them on. And I mean, the rise of these different platforms like TikTok as well
Yes.
has cultivated and created a new class,
And
right?
people
The
are
creative
making
class.
deals off of their TikTok presence.
Deals.
Yes.
I mean, multi-million-dollar deals.
Multi-million-dollar deals. Say it again, Whitley.
Look, multi-million-dollar deals.
Yeah. And
Endorsements.
That's
Name,
right.
image, and likeness. NIL. Like sponsorship.
Yeah.
Brand deals.
It's amazing. I mean, it's really amazing. And for these black female creatives, why is it important that their voices are heard, including, folks like you and our own, Robin Ayers? Why is it important for their voices to be heard?
I think for far too long we haven't listened to black women. For far too long we haven't believed black women. For far too long we haven't supported black women. And so I think now is the time for us to make sure and be even more intentional about supporting black women. And that is in their creativity. That is in their mind wealth. That's in what they're writing. That's in what they're producing, what they're singing, etc. I think right now is a time where people are seeing us to be seen.
That's right.
And there's a validation in being seen. And then there's also competency that comes with the creativity that leads to the coin.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know before or you had a question, you could call Alina. You could call a Natasha Rothwell. You could call a Issa and get connected to say, hey, I'm trying to do or I'm interested in. And now you've got a network. You've got a network of people that's rooting for you, that want to see you win because they understand how valuable it is for you to express yourself in this way.
I love that, Whitley. Let's check in on the chat real quick. Houston, Texas says, long overdue recognition. Forrest Harrison said, I saw a movie on Tubi that was shot with a Polaroid camera. And then Pretty Brown Mimi said, Black women, we are the baddest women on the planet. And then there was also a little correction that Fahima made. She said that Kravitz was actually nominated 3 times for NAACP awards, that he did not actually win one. And then Houston, Texas, fist bump back to you too. Bam. And when we come back to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, more with me, Keith Underwood, and our special contributor, Ms. Whitley.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at the Raw Report. Keep it locked.
More of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I'm here with Lisa Stevens, Senior Business Consultant with Chase for Business. Lisa, what's one tip you'd give to business owners here in the Crenshaw area?
I love that you asked that question. I'm originally from Brooklyn, and I grew up in an area that's very similar to Crenshaw. So this is near and dear to my heart. And if I could only leave a business owner with just one, I would tell the business owner to identify their why. And I think that is so important because your why is going to be that strength on those days where you feel like you're struggling. Your why is going to be that stepping stone. Those days that you want to give up, your why is going to be the reason that you get back up.
And how would you advise business owners looking to acquire capital? What do they need to know before stepping inside the branch to ask for funding?
So 3 things. I do want to share this when it comes to the power of capital and just finding those resources. Understand that capital is a 3-part of a business, right? It's not always about the monetary piece, but if you first put that intellectual, right? What do I need to know? That social, who I need to know, that will help you to then package for that monetary piece. So no matter who you're banking with, you should know your banker. Never walk into a bank and you're transactional only.
It's just like Lisa to drop gems. I'm Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions because we've got your black. Listen up. If you're one of the more than 100,000 California tenants who were rejected or delayed when applying for COVID rental assistance, you've got a second chance. Under the terms of a new settlement, California's Housing and Community Development Department agreed to audit its past denials. The program ended in March 2022, but the advocacy groups Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, Policy Link, and Strategic Actions for a Just Economy sued the department. According to the coalition's analysis of state data, the department rejected nearly 30% of all applicants. Under the settlement, the department agreed to clear all renters in the pipeline within 6 months. The settlement applies to anyone who sought assistance from the state's Housing is Key program before April 1st, 2022, whose applications is pending or was denied after June 6, 2022. Tenants who have questions about the status of their application can call the hotline at 833-430-2122. That's 833-430-2122. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Can't you just see the smile on her face over the radio right now? Let's get back to more of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are Black on the Raw Report. This is the place where you get entertainment and celebrity news. I am Keith Underwood, sitting in for the lovely Robin Ayers, and joining me is our special contributor, Miss Whitley. Whitley.
I'm here. I'm excited. What are we getting into now?
Okay, we got something else to get into, Whitley. We gonna get into it. So we gonna talk about DaBaby. The award-winning rap artist, known for his top-charting debut album, Baby on Baby, is opening up about a recent fight for his life with an unlikely opponent, alcohol. The lifestyle of a rapper involves nightly appearances at clubs, bars, and establishments where liquor is the main refreshment on the menu. The Carolina rapper revealed that an embarrassing ordeal in front of his daughter has him giving up the devil's liquid for good. Whitley, this brother, some of the reports that I have read, this brother actually vomited in front of his daughter, and the embarrassment of that and the shame of that made him make the decision to stop drinking. Now I'm going to share a personal story. When my father, God rest his soul, he battled alcoholism for years, and I remember that a similar situation happened with us, and he had promised that he would stop drinking. He was going to go clean. Unfortunately, he did not. And so I'm really, sending out prayers for the baby, and I'm hoping that he's successful in this endeavor. But Whitley Yates, what are your thoughts on this?
This is what I think. A lot of times, entertainers only share specific pieces of their life that they want us to see. Sometimes. Some of them overshare, the Krishan Rocks and the Blue Faces. Some of them overshare, but mostly entertainers, they only let us see what they want us to see. He could have done this and decided to not make it public and to not discuss and talk about it.
You think it's a grab?
No. I think it's good that he's saying this is what I'm doing, because there's going to be a different level of accountability on his decision-making skills when he's out in these environments. And I think it's important for him to make a public proclamation to people so that when he says, no, I'm not drinking that, they understand why. And hopefully we'll have respect for the decision and not tempt him. And I think it's good for us to see him stepping up in a way that says, hey, this lifestyle is not conducive to the little girl I'm trying to raise.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When we're looking at leadership, when we're looking at Black male leadership, a lot of times we talk about toxic masculinity, but we never really applaud when Black male leaders are leading in a way that's complementary to raising productive, amazing human beings. So kudos to him for coming out, for making this declaration, and doing what's best not only for his health, but for his children.
Yeah, 100%. I commend DaBaby as well, again, and I think that this was cathartic, for him and a part of his process, to sobriety. And like you said, I really hope that anyone around him in his circle or anyone that's around him or sees him out, that we, make the brother accountable and we try to lift him up. And then, some folks, Whitley, will mess with you just because they know you're trying to do better, especially if you're in a position where you have a platform. What do you think about that?
I think those people are gutter snipes and should be eradicated from your circles, friends list, families, etc.
Goodbye.
That's what I think. I think they need to be canceled, excommunicated. But I'll say, in my own personal journey, I'm not a big drinker. I'm not a heavy drinker, and I have a very low tolerance. And I had a situation, I was celebrating an accomplishment, being named 40 under 40, and I partook in the devil's juice a little bit too much to the point where I got sick. And it made me take a step back. Yeah. I did a 90-day no alcohol because I didn't like not only my behavior, but that I overly consumed.
Yeah.
And overconsumption of anything is not a good thing. right?
The
And
Bible
so I had
speaks
said,
on
wait,
it.
come on, take me to church, me. So I did a 90-day no alcohol. I'm sipping mocktails because I wanted to make sure that I regained control and that I was not making decisions based upon what I was putting in my body that would be altering those decisions I was making. And so I've been there, and I know a lot of my friends have also, especially the older you get, if you have a social job, and a lot of stuff revolves around a glass of wine, a glass of champagne, an open bar. And so you kind of go from, oh, I don't really drink that much to, oh, yeah, I'm just a social drinker. But socially, it's once, twice, 3 times a week that you're out in these different settings, grabbing a cocktail, et cetera. And sometimes when you have addiction that runs in your family, you can begin to get addicted and not realize it.
That's right.
And so you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Kudos to anyone making those types of decisions, and kudos to anyone that's on their sobriety journey, no matter where you are, just beginning, thinking about it, et cetera. We're here to support you, and we love you on the Raw Report.
That's right. That's right. What do you think about the pressures of entertainment and what they might play in substance abuse?
The pressures of entertainment, more specifically, the pressures of the rap industry, I think we're going to keep it a buck because this is the Raw Report, and we stay raw, real, and relevant with
Real
Robin.
raw.
So I think it is commercialized. I think it's commodified, and I think it's celebrated to overindulge in many vices that you see being exemplified through the music, not just drinking, but smoking, not just smoking, but doing drugs, not just doing drugs, but, partaking in harlot behavior. I mean, there seems to be a common thread in a lot of our music today that makes these vices seem victorious. And I think as a rapper, there's a lot of pressure to partake because if you're not, then you're kind of square. Like, what are you rapping about? If it's not overly sexualized music, if it's not overly aggressive and violent, if it's not about drinking, smoking, tapping something, et cetera, robbing somebody, shooting somebody, Percocet, Molly Percocet. Like, if it's not these types of things, are you even relevant anymore in the industry? And if your behavior doesn't align with the things that you say in your rap songs, are you relevant? I don't know if you saw this clip, but what was it? Fat Joe talking about, oh yeah, I was never a gangster. Like, I was never these things. I rapped about it, but I was never actually doing those things. And so it's almost as if they put on a persona.
Right. Yeah.
To be
we've
relevant.
heard about things like that with artists like, Tupac and, having these different characters that they portray in order to gain a certain audience. Let's check into the chat real quick. First off, Forrest Harrison said good night and that we did a great job. Also, Thomas Oliver said drinking is fun, easy not to get addicted when you care about your health. Okay, shout out to that. And Houston, Texas said great move, DaBaby. Whitley Yates, where can everybody find you on social media?
Oh, thank you. I'm taking a bow in front of the Raw Report.
Yes, thank you.
I'm at Whitley J. Yates on Twitter, Whitley J. Yates on Instagram. And, you can find me upholding Black excellence and empowering Black people.
Come on now. Whitley J. Yates, thank you for joining me on the Raw Report. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. And I'm going to connect with you, my Beepers brother.
Hey, and if you want to connect with me, you can follow me and also message me on Instagram at UMA Worldwide. You can also find me on Facebook at Keith L. Underwood. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow night here on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Until then, talk to you soon.